let's take a peek in on Sendo and catch the tail end of Sendo Hokusai.
Chimera set?
Yep.
Alright. Hokusai's an interesting team for me, because, like, I kind of get confused with all the Japanese name squad teams. Like, there's Hokusai squad, there's other squads of similar names that I can't remember the names of. And yeah, like I can never remember which one's which. So like I keep seeing Hokusai squad, and they used to do pretty well in tournament. And I'm like, okay, so that's which team is that? And then oh, you're right, it's the Spanish team. Yeah, they've got a second team as well. I can't remember the name of it. Unfortunately, it's another Japanese name.
Hokusai has two teams. They have
Hokusai and
Kohai.
Kohai, yes, that's the one. Yeah, they've actually been doing quite well lately. I think Kohai made it to Ludi playoffs and was
from the C division, if I'm not mistaken, or B division.
Like that, yeah.
I think B.
Yeah, and Hokusai did really well in A division.
Yeah, we saw some really good snipes from the Jonah?
Yeah, Jordy. Yeah.
Jordy. Right, he's got the Cyrillic characters and all that. Yeah, no, it's really impressive just how these sort of unknown teams are, well, unknown as in, like, teams that are unknown, not unknown, the team, are making a real run for things now. Like, they've got some legit players, and...
Nice push. 9-6 is going right side. I'm gonna go left.
Snipers on tower.
Dog shot here, trying to climb door closed.
Are we on Sendo?
On tower still?
Yep.
Yeah.
The pressure from the side.
So Sendo lately has been going for that CRB mostly instead of Luna. Doing incredibly well with it lately.
Yeah, it's... I think because he's always... I remember months and months ago when the CRBs first started becoming sort of the weapon to pick. Holy shit! that was some grim stuff right there.
That is so beautiful.
Just burst bomb shot on tower and it's instantly cleared. Yeah, so Sendu was one of the, like, he was always one of the people who was saying, you know, yeah, CRB is amazing, but like it's just hard. This was several months ago, and he's finally come around to actually learning it properly, and yeah, it's really good to see.
Yeah, he's definitely come out as one of the top CRBs from this point. Like, he's just been using it in more situations than Luna, showing that it really pays off to use that weapon.
Oh yeah, no,
like, he understands the range of that weapon a lot more than other people do.
Yeah, CRB is an absolutely ridiculous weapon. I don't think there's, like, it's definitely in contention for, like, just best weapon in the game, period. Like, because with the 10 attack, like, the 10 attack works in, like, every situation, but it doesn't, like, do unfair things, necessarily. The CRB does unfair things a lot of the time, to the point where, like, you know, like, it has maps where just, it's not great. Like, you know, you think about Moray, for example, it's really hard to really, you know, move around the map with CRB on Moray. But at the same time, just the fact that you have those direct hits with the Kraken and the splat bombs, like, there's so much that it can do, and then just sometimes you'll just get these team comps where you just automatically win because you outrange the enemy team, and there's nothing they can do to stop you. So
yeah, there's never been a weapon that after playing it for a while that I feel gross afterwards, like a CRB.
Oh dear. Yep. Grim Range Blaster. See, the thing with the Grim is it functions really well as a sort of support weapon, and I say that as one of the people who I just generally don't like the term support weapon because it's usually misused. But Grim is actually an amazing support weapon. It gets so much damage done. Like, it will deal, like, you stack 3 damage on it, and it deals, like, you know, 80 to 90 damage with an indirect, and then, like, 70 or 80 with a burst. And, like, anything from any weapon will kill off that. So like, you know, you have a Grim and a Dynamo, for example, and it's just like you paint them up and then the Grim just sort of shoots in your general direction and kills you. So anyway.
Yeah. No, I
2-3 for
definitely
Chimera.
agree with that. One thing I will say is support weapons, I agree with you, are a lot of times misplaced. Support weapons can be weapons that are used mainly for more ink control all the times. I would say strong contenders for support weapons are things like the Rapid Blaster. Rapid Blaster is one of the better support weapons. Zimmy. They're weapons that can't necessarily kill entirely on their own, but can provide enough damage and enough support on their subs to keep the other team at bay.
Speaking of Zinc Mini, Sender is doing a thing.
What? Zimmy?
I know he's been experimenting with other weapons for similar reasons to like because I've been experimenting with other shit as well because I usually main CRB, but like I
The
sort of get sick of it
Zimmy
on some
heavy
maps.
combo I've been seeing a lot lately, and it's a very strong pairing.
It is very powerful. Like
So-
those
Especially
weapons
for a
just
zones
shred
map.
anything close up.
I just like to point out that even Resbit 2, I know Resbit's been using the heavy quite a bit, but like looks like they've just decided to take out the
This
any
comp has me
weapon-
a bit worked up sexually, says PK Fuzzy.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, this is like
Yo, Fuzzy, he's using an Octoshot though.
this is what I like to call like just bombarding the zone with
Oh
ink.
yeah.
Like they just
Yeah.
took out any weapon that doesn't ink. They took out the sniper. They took out blaster, and they're just like, we can kill without it, and we can cover that zone nonstop. It makes
Well,
it
I mean-
really frustrating.
Mhm.
Yeah, the heavy has deceptively. I'm not going to say bad, but it's not as crazy as it sort of looks to begin with. Usually the way that a weapon paints is not actually with the ends of the shots, but like with the droplets that come out from like when the shots are traveling. And the heavy doesn't actually have that. Or rather, it has like one drop, so it's not quite as amazing at painting, but it does do one thing really well, and that is shred anything and everything that doesn't outrange it. It's kind of like the Hydra, like shreds everything in the game that isn't a Splat Charger or a E-Liter, and yeah, it's you can see though just the amount of control. Like this forward hold is kind of ridiculous. At the same time, though, there are two people coming from Chimera's base right now. 3 people, in fact? What is going on here?
Yeah, but Sendo got one nice kill, but gets taken out from that top left side. Oh, and Hokusai managed to cap it. Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a blunder on Chimera's part, just not paying attention to their base. Like, I don't even know what happened. They're usually on top of that. That's very unlike them. Could be because of just the weapon choices in general.
Yeah,
They're just not used to playing it
They
like
have so
that.
much stuff just to sit in the zone that. What do you need the base for?
But yeah, that's the one thing I will say is that it's very hard to keep zones like this for so long with the amount of ink coverage that they do have. It's like teams that you play against that have like 4 ink strikes. Like it's maybe not the best comp, but man, it is annoying to play against.
Traded. There's one in top mid. We need to get
Just a quick update. Nuggets on the Go has beat Pure Ink Sanity 4-2.
Dynamo.
And finally has won 4-1 against Xerox. So we're only waiting on these 2 games now.
Nice. One more.
Very nice.
Nice.
Good ping control. Down
Dynamo
with the
coming
room.
back from Death Snipe.
So it looks like Hokusai is in the lead right now. Kind of like I see Chimera definitely holding this zone from the way they got this now. He has a bubble ready and just waiting. So I definitely see that Chimera has the advantage, but very surprising. Oh, and the bubble goes down. That's a huge loss. What is up with Chimera, man? They keep missing those streets and flanking from behind. This is going to be really strong for Hokusai right now.
Raise down.
Alright.
By the bit,
Yeah, I don't know. There they go. They got the cap. I retract my statement.
Yep, they got the cap and they got the reset with 1:30 left. This is good for Hokusai in particular.
My mic has been muted this whole time. Cool.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, FLC seems to be real quiet right now.
Yeah,
Very contemplative.
I was wondering why you guys were cutting me off so much.
I'm like, damn, man, I really gotta stall until FLC chimes in on this one, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, as I was talking to myself, you could see, like, in both of those cases where Chimera lost control, they were forward holding, and normally that's a really effective strat because it just, like, everyone just sort of rushes into you and dies. But every time the berry and the I think it was Tenatech would just come in from behind, and like they'd go over the grading or from the tree area or something like that. I don't know if it's because they were just ignoring the tree or what, but like they were coming from a strange angle too. Because normally when you have someone coming from the tree, they're coming from the street area, like they'll go low ground. But the berry was going actually from the high ground. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Go ahead, Blake.
I was just going to say they're packing 3 potential support style weapons, but it doesn't feel like any of them are really playing a support role.
So I just like to point out right now that a lot of the reason why they can't keep control is that Sendo just is not popping those bubbles. He has blown 3 bubbles now before he gets into zone, and it's always led to Hokusai capping the zone. I understand you want to hold it out for the last second, but there's 7 seconds left. Like, he just popped the bubble that he didn't need to.
Oh.
They're going to cap it, but I don't know.
No, not quite.
No, and it gets stopped.
Not quite.
I don't know. I just want to say that I feel like that's a huge misstep from Chimera. That was their game to lose. Like Hokusai just played normally, and they took advantage of the fact of how up front, and they just didn't pay attention to their own base. Like,
see, here's the thing. They went for the in control thing, and that's fair enough. Problem is that they used the Zinc. Now, the Zinc is an extremely powerful weapon, don't get me wrong, but it's not as straightforward as people seem to think. A lot of people, especially people who haven't really used the Zinc before, will sort of hop on, like, Zinc is a sort of a, oh, well, it's Zinc, how hard can it be kind of weapon. And then they'll not actually understand some of the really important things about the weapon. It's a heavy depletion weapon. Now, yes, it gets bubbles, like, in 10 seconds, but the heavy depletion still is a massive problem, and it's not actually a straight-up win on a lot of weapons. The Tenatech, for example, even if the Tenatech gets disrupted, the Tenatech can still turn around and shoot the Zinc. And, of course, when you have things like the Berry and the 96 Deco, which HS did have, the Zinc doesn't actually do well against those weapons unless it gets the sort of disruptor bubble combo off. Usually, the way a Zinc engages is with a disruptor followed up by a bubble on a couple of people, like, and then it'll just turf the entire map and get another bubble again. That's how it sort of gets its the steamroller going. And this is what I was talking about before with support weapons. Zinc is considered a support weapon. Well, I would consider Zinc a support weapon, I should say. But that's not because it can't slay, but because it can slay. It's the weapon that does all those supportive things, but then you have the ability to just go and win any fight that you choose. And it's the fact that you choose those fights and the fact that you have the sort of utility in the kit without compromising on your ability to get kills and get map control that makes a support weapon so effective.
2 of us are down.
Yeah,
be pushing far left.
Definitely. I mean, I don't have much more to add. You're correct on everything.
That disruptor. Beautiful. Forcing that Rainmaker to just drop into the water.
Yeah, but still, that's still pretty good.
It's a good push, but to stop a push, that was a very good play on Sendo's part.
The one thing I like to add, which is a very weird thing to say, is that Chimera is, I would like to say Chimera is kind of the disadvantage in this game. It's very rare that they're pushed back. And it's very rare to see a team take advantage of Chimera's strengths, if that makes any sense. Chimera's a very offensive team, and Hokusai just seems to know how to play around that hyper-aggressiveness.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's really interesting. I'm not entirely sure why Sendo isn't using a blaster. Like, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. Blasters are amazing on this. Yeah, they're amazing on this map. Like, yeah, the Zinc is really good as well, but you don't need a Zinc. Whereas a blaster, you need that kind of slaying ability that is going to get you these kinds of pushes. And you can see that like they aren't really getting very far. It's like they're trying to make the pushes, but the entire enemy team is just able to get holed up in their base and just start like block the push pretty much instantly.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. See, the thing is right now is that you can't have Sendo grabbing that Rainmaker unless you're sure there's a wipe. He should have waited for that bubble to charge before he went pushing ahead. Kind of weird. It feels like they're kind of
sneaky points.
Don't want to sound weird, but it sounds like they're kind of panicking a little bit. Like, it's kind of weird to see Chimera in this position where they're like playing. Maybe it's a weird weapon comp. I don't know, but it's weird to see them in this type of position and kind of playing very back. Like, very few beacons pushed ahead, very few super jumps happening. It's very much not.
Yeah, and you can see right here, Sendo's having a bit of a tough time with that. With that
like
team.
the supported play by that Charger there, just knocking around the bubble, buying time for the Dynamo.
That was like you were mentioning. Like it looks like Chimera is sort of on the back foot. It's almost as though we're watching the wrong team. It's like because Chimera is normally the team that's jumping out as 3 people. Like you just walk into a sort of what looks to be a clear area, and then you just get jumped on by 3 people all at once. Like we actually saw a lot of that at DPG just this weekend.
Yeah.
And,
that's a really good Exuka.
yeah.
Did you see him pops that Rainmaker, gets a double
right around?
That's gonna be really nice push for them. Well, hopefully, it looks like 2 Chimera players are finally there right away. So.
Are you watching the wrong stream again, Spoon?
No.
Because I'm at 42, 41.
Oh, I'm like 5 seconds behind.
Okay.
Like half a second behind.
Okay, let me try and reload this.
Okay, this is more like it. Okay,
Yeah.
we've got a couple of kills coming in here from Sendu. He's having
That's
trouble with the
slippery Layla.
Oh, that's a triple.
And that's a wipe. That's a complete wipe. That's gonna be really strong
Go,
unless
go,
the sniper
go,
can get
go.
up.
And they lost it.
No.
It is a worthwhile trade though. That was the
Yep.
usually the Zeke doesn't want to be dying, but at the same time, like he got a triple and he's already used his bubble, so that's all cool. Now they just need to figure out a way to get this push started again. They've got the Rainmaker pops, so they can basically pick it up as soon as they get an advantage. But the problem is that they've got just a defensive posture coming in from HS right now, and this might even be enough for them to win.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh no!
Sendo's going in.
45. Damn, that's snipe. He gets the bubble. That's a great bubble. But I don't know.
Takes out the
Like,
Charger.
I got it.
Oh, he has a
there,
very
and they
good
don't
chance.
get it. Oh my
Oh,
god!
this could be
there's
it.
3 down. That's gonna be
So
it. That has
close.
to be it. Oh, and they finally grab it. Oh my god.
Oh, Sendo putting in work with that spawn camping.
Meanwhile, we've got someone in chat wanting to be global, apparently. That's a lot of
That's
a lot of
sound
Quez.
effects. So that was really good. I would say Sendo was basically the reason for that push.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I still don't agree. I agree with you on this one. I still don't agree with the push of the Zimmy, going with the Zimmy choice. I feel like that still could have happened if he went Blaster. But overall,
Same time though. Yeah,
the bubble is the reason why he did hold on to it.
Yeah. Like at the same time, you could see initially Sendo was struggling a bit because I think it's just because he's inexperienced with the weapon. But once he actually got it together and once he got that triple and then sort of moved up and started taking his engagements a little bit more cautiously, it was all over. And like you can see again, like the comp wasn't the problem. It was just they sort of took a little while to get to hit the ground running, and that's not really the way that phrase is used, but whatever. You get the point.
Another thing I'd like to add is it's going to sound a little bit weird because there's nothing to do with the players. Like, they're all fantastic. Like, Chimera is like an elite lineup of players. But I feel like ever since Soren has joined the team, they've had a little bit of trouble trying to get that synergy that they've had with like all their other players. It feels like Soren plays a little bit differently, so it's like them trying to adjust to the rest of the players. Once they get it, they'll be fantastic, but it seems to be like one of their struggling points at the moment. Is I feel like every time they have had Soren, it's like their dynamic is kind of changing, and it's led them to not look as dominating as they have before. I mean, it's normal. It's growing pains within like adding players. So,
but now that you mention it, it's actually a good thing you brought that up because Kuba Clan, I've actually had a lot to do with them for. It's been since what 2008, 2009 at least. Because obviously they played a bunch of other games before Splatoon. And their big thing was always their teamwork. Like, they have a very... I can't really speak exactly to the style that they play because I don't speak French, but what has always defined them as a team has been their coherence and teamwork. Like, they'll have those individual star players, but what will make them powerful is not just a bunch of people carrying them, but instead the synergy that they develop. Because I'm pretty sure, like, with Kuba Clan, most of the time they end up just like in real life, they'll just like hang around in the middle of Paris or whatever. Like, they actually meet up quite frequently in real life, and they have like, there's a massive esports scene in France that's sort of just a national thing. Yeah. And Kuba Clan's been around for all of that. And transitioning from Kuba Clan, which is a very teamwork-oriented group, into something like Chimera, which is a lot more defined on the individual talents that they have, it's probably a bit of a culture shock for Soren. He's absolutely the kind of player who can flourish in Chimera, but at the same time, he's probably a bit more used to having someone. I don't know who the in-game leader was for Kuba Clan before this. I think it was probably Kiver.
It was Soren and Kiver.
Soren Kiver?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's probably not quite as used to the sort of free-flowing freestyle play style that Chimera has.